This is the Money Hour with your host, Tina Mitchell, on Alternative Talk, AM 1150. Now, back to the show with local mortgage and finance expert, Tina Mitchell.
Well, welcome back to the Money Hour with your host and mortgage expert, Tina Mitchell, right here on 1150 AM KKNW, the Saturday, September 12th show. I'm here to help you build a strong financial blueprint 1 week and one show at a time. If you're hearing my show at a different time or day, you are listening to a rebroadcast, but you can always call the show at 1-855-400-1150. Again, that's 1-855-400-1150 or online at themoneyhour.com. You can ask my guest that I have in studio today any questions, or if you'd like to talk to me, I'm here to talk with you as well. In studio right now, I have Mark Tillman and Kathy Oman with 3D4RE, and we're going to talk about 3D homes, visual marketing. And so I'm excited to have you guys back in studio. Mark and Kathy, thank you so much.
Thank you, Tina. So happy to be back.
And Kathy, you're going to get on mic with us a little bit today?
A little bit, I think. Thank you.
Awesome. A little background. Mark Tillman owned and operated a business for over 20 years and has been a licensed real estate broker for over 10 years. Mark is 2012 Volunteer of the Year for the Seattle Foundation, Eaton Housing, 2014 Everyday Hero for Kirkland Keys Want and Desert Storm Veteran. And a little bit about Kathy. Kathy Oman is a local girl. Her first real job was a local camera repair shop, which started her appetite for photography. Professionally, she has been shooting for over 20 years, starting out working on the educational cruise ship. From there, she shot many different venues, and for the last 10 years, her mainstay has been real estate photography. She uses her 35 millimeter digital camera with blended imagery approaching, capturing bracketed shots of the same scene and then using software to create the final picture with 3D technology. She can capture and showcase a more competitive visual property. And I have to say, talking with the two of them is visual. You need to go on their website, which is 3D4RE.com, to really get the experience. Since we're on radio here, we don't have a TV that you can look at, but get online because it's pretty awesome. You can use any technology device that you have to take a look at their website, because it's pretty spectacular to actually be in the home and kind of moving yourself around 3D. Right, Mark? Give a visual to my listeners.
So, Tina, one of the things that most people can relate to is Google Street View.
Okay.
So the 3D models that recreate inside of these homes are basically like Google Street View inside your home.
Pretty awesome.
It is pretty cool.
Yeah. So there you go. I mean, you literally can see every aspect of the home and just move yourself around. So has there been any feedback on how 3D photography has affected real estate sales?
Tracking real estate sales sometimes could be a bit challenging.
Yes.
But we have heard that just recently we had someone use our service for a particular listing that they have on a home, and the buyer that is under contract to purchase that home came to see the home because they saw the 3D model online. So it did get a particular buyer into going to see the home in person.
And I would imagine that that's so true, because we're talking about a home, which is the most emotional connection purchase that there ever will be. And I know people that have deleted properties and put them into their delete bin, which means they're not coming back unless they take them off the market and bring them back in. And the house is an awesome house, but the pictures were just bad. And so that's the first thing that they're doing. I mean, time's really precious. And so they're going online and taking a look. And with the technology and what you guys have to offer to the real estate community to better show that house, I just think it's amazing. So what trends are you seeing in the real estate world with imaging?
Well, certainly 3D is going to really come on strong regarding showing the home online. Mm-hmm. Without, virtual tours is something that most realtors are familiar with. You have a bunch of photos, they're stitched together, and there's a slideshow with music going by that you're able to see the pictures. Mm-hmm. With this 3D technology, a person literally can put themselves inside of that home and walk around at their leisure. So if they're fixed on the kitchen, if the kitchen is their biggest feature of a home, they can spend time in that home online in the comfort of their home and take a look in detail of what that kitchen offers and move around the home as much as they want. So it's literally an open house online 24/7.
Oh my gosh, how awesome. So what have you done lately to enhance your own skills, Mark, to set some benefits for the brokers?
So one of the things that, we're able to do when we get these 3D models and they're completed, we're able to assist the brokers in placing them online in their social media, on their Facebook, on their Twitter, and even on their own personal web pages. So that is something that we are assisting the brokers to do, is get this out there online as much as possible.
Yeah, so if you're a realtor, I mean, we've got a huge, thousands of realtors that listen on podcasts, and you might be driving in your car right now, tuning in for the first time. And if you're a real estate expert, you do need to pick up the phone, 1-855-400-1150, or you can go to their website and request a time to meet with them and get some information. So shout out to Women's Council Realtors, all your realtors listening. As industry leaders, we belong to some great organizations, and I want to say thank you to 3D4RE for their sponsorship for our Masquerade Ball that's coming up. And again, if you're listening to the show and you're a realtor representing sellers, having the best representation that you can on a visual, I'm sure you understand the huge benefit for that. Mark, and I have to ask you the cost associated to this, because it's really an inexpensive process to go through and utilize your services.
Well, Tina, considering the impact that this 3D technology has for a home being sold, the cost is very minimal. So on your average home, let's just say a home that is, 2,000 square feet, you're looking at maybe $350.
Unbelievable.
I mean, it's just, to me, I think it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, totally. I mean, just to get that visual of the property. So, Kathy, are you seeing that you guys are having a lot of repeat brokers that are coming back and continuing to use your services for multiple listings that they have?
Thanks for asking that, Tina. Yes, we are having a lot more repeat brokers. They're starting to see the value. I think that a lot of them needed to test it out in the beginning. And now that we're seeing some results that are coming in with purchasing and people viewing from other countries, more people are getting more interested, and it's been really great. And it's really nice to get that relationship going with new brokers.
And what about the new clients as a result of 3D photography? What are you seeing there, Kathy, for the company?
Well, we're getting a lot of referrals we got a referral from a woman that actually is in California doing 3D, who had a client that needed something up here, referred us to that.
Okay.
And so we're also creating relationships across states. We also have gotten referrals from the company that created the camera. The Matterport camera is what we use, and they have a referral program. And I just recently talked with a man yesterday who's very interested in this kind of technology for his clientele. So we're getting...
The buzz is getting around.
The buzz is getting around, and I recently went to school for real estate broker, and I haven't taken my test yet, but getting ready. And even the teacher brought in articles on 3D virtual tours.
Yeah.
And so from that, I actually brought in the camera and showcased it to the other students. So I think it's going to be even more up and coming with the new people coming out to be brokers.
Yeah, it was awesome when Mark and Ed came into the Women's Council of Realtors and did a little presentation, and they showed the videos up there. It was funny to just listen to all the rooms packed with realtors and all the oohs and ahs, and it's pretty exciting. So, Mark, one of the realtors listening to the show might be asking, how long does it take to do a shoot for the 3D?
So depending on the size of the house, let's just take a house that's about maybe 3,000 square feet. And, you have to consider the layout of the home, nooks and crannies and things like that. But a typical data shoot is what we call it when we're going to do a 3D model for a home. We call it a data shoot. And so a typical data shoot will probably take anywhere from, about 2 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, about 2 hours.
So it's not that long of a period of time.
It's not that long of a period of time. The most important work happens in prepping the house, because understanding it's an open house.
Yes.
Even though it's online.
Yep.
So everything is going to be captured in this 3D model. So if there's something in the home that the seller doesn't want the public to see, we have to make sure those things are put away.
Yes. So are you consulting with the sellers, or just the realtors, and they're communicating with their sellers exactly what's going to happen? Are the sellers out of the home when you're doing this?
Right. So we certainly communicate with the listing broker about the expectations of what we need when we're coming in to do a 3D data shoot.
Got it.
Because the house needs to be empty of people and pets.
Yeah, makes total sense. You don't want a little pet running around during that 3D? I would emotionally be connected to the house with a little doggy running around, but...
Well, Halloween is coming up, and so maybe you'll see a dog in one image, and then the next image, there's no dog there.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome, Mark. So, Kathy, what have you experienced with experimenting with the 3D photography equipment? Because that is your expertise and area.
Yes, and on what Mark is saying, recently we have been creating a haunted house. When I was here last time, I mentioned that we wanted to do that. And so the last weekend, we spent some time in a beautiful century-old Victorian home in Ballard that a friend of mine owns, and we pretty much messed it up. So we're still in the process of creating it, but it's been a great learning experience, and hopefully soon we'll have it completed, and I'll send a link when we've got it done, and hopefully it'll be just that really creepy, icky, cool factor.
Yeah, I have no doubt that it will be. So, Kathy, how long have you been doing photography?
Well, it's been a hobby for almost all my life, and as you mentioned in the beginning, my first job was at a camera repair shop. So professionally, I started in probably about 1997, 98, and that was on the cruise ship. And so big travel is a big one for me. That's usually my own thing. But I've done weddings and all kinds of interesting photography. So the real estate has been the mainstay for the last probably 10 years.
Yeah.
And I love homes. And I grew up in Seattle, so it's really great to go see all the different aspects and history and everything that's in the different neighborhoods. So I just love that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Mark, the 3D model, when it's completed, how are people viewing that? Can you explain that a little bit?
So once the 3D model is completed, we send the brokers a couple of links.
Okay.
And one of the links they can specifically use on the virtual tour link in the MLS. So when they have their listing, they're uploading their information, they can put this link for their 3D model in the virtual tour link.
Got it.
And so that
makes it really easy.
That gives everybody a chance to take a look at it, especially
so no
other
3D
brokers.
Glasses needed.
No 3D glasses are needed.
That is awesome. So can you use Photoshop to edit when there are mistakes made?
I'll let Kathy take that one.
Kathy, what do you do when you make a mistake?
Basically, when you are placing the camera and it moves around 360 degrees, it creates the little circle like you see in the Google Walkthrough.
Okay.
And one house that I did do, and in fact, it's the house that recently was sold by somebody who saw it online, they had not wanted their closet, but they didn't tell me that. They had a beautiful master closet. It wasn't really ready. Nobody was there to ask, so I went ahead and shot it. They came back and said, please get rid of that closet. What was very, very simple for me to go behind the scenes, remove those little links, basically, and then send it back out, and they could not get into the closet. But you cannot do things in Photoshop. It's basically what you see is what you get.
Got it.
So the only thing I can really do is delete scans.
So what about shooting the inside and the outside? Is that, do you do both?
Well, I'll answer that. When it's a little bit dark and not sunny, you can get away with some outside shots. I've been able to do some shots starting from a porch and going in. But generally, if it's bright daylight, you can't really do the outside. But the inside does capture the window views. So you can see outside the window And that's been really great too. And as far as we do the still photography as well, so we can get the outside shots for the MLS that way.
Okay. And besides World Tours, I know when I had you guys in studio before and had some conversation around the opportunities that, might come up in the future outside of just doing the 3D for homes. What are your other ideas?
So, Tina, I am certainly excited to say that we now have our first 3D model of a hair salon.
You do?
Yes.
Oh my God, how exciting.
How cool is that?
Wow.
It's a hair salon over in...
And look at how much they're going to stand out if they got a nice shop, you've got a nice salon, how much they're going to stand out from the other ones.
Yes. And I know how important getting your hair done is.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm sure you know how important it is, Mark. You don't have any.
But so that's just one.
You set yourself up there.
Oh, big time. That's just one of the ways that this 3D technology can be used. Mm-hmm. Now, just last night, there is a restaurant in New Orleans in the French Quarter. I don't want to butcher the name, but it's called Arnaud's.
Okay.
And a 3D model was created in this restaurant.
Wow.
And it's just beautiful.
Yeah.
And you can see the charm of the restaurant, and it's just a beautiful thing. But this restaurant now has this online for people to see.
Yeah.
So if no one has ever heard of that restaurant,
yes,
by seeing that 3D model, I now want to go.
Exactly.
And so
this really could be the upcoming trend of the future.
It really can be. And so I'm planning on going to visit some other locations in the area to see if they would be interested in showcasing their business.
Yeah, that is awesome. You also talked about the schools.
Yes.
And I share that with my listeners, Mark.
One of the things with schools, it would be ideal for parents that have kids that are going to school for the first time, kindergarten and first grade, for these parents to be able to see a 3D model of the school before the child even gets there. So they can literally have a model of the school to see where little Johnny is going to class, to see where they go to have lunch, to see where the library is. And also, if you think about for police and fire, if there was something to happen at a particular school, now the police and fire department have a 3D model of the school, and they can see exactly where an event is taking place.
And like I said, this could be the next trend and possibly in the future a requirement for protection reasons. So, any other tips that you want to share with our brokers that are listening when it comes to 3D showcasing?
The only tip that I can give right now is to at least check it out, because not only having a 3D model is going to enhance your current listing.
Yes.
Now you got something to walk into the next seller's home to say, look at how we're going to showcase your home.
Great idea. I was just going to ask you about marketing.
Yes.
I mean, that's brilliant, Mark, to really be able to, and if you're a broker listening, you know how competitive it is out there with the sellers.
Yes.
And, having the ability, homes are taking a lot, they're selling really quick, but there's still not hardly any available on the inventory. So really setting yourself aside. That is an amazing idea. Any other marketing tips that you have for our brokers listening?
One other marketing tip is once you get one of these 3D models in your hands, think of the ability that you have to capture out-of-state buyers. Buyers who are out of the country.
And look at how many are out of the country buying in our area.
Bingo.
Yeah. Amazing.
So if you're creative.
So you really don't have to even come here. And I know a lot of people that do that, which is so surprising. You have a husband and wife, and they actually come out here and one of them purchases the home before the other one ever sees it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I would never let my husband do that. Maybe if I had 3D experience, I would.
Yes.
So that's awesome. Well, thank you, Mark, Kathy. Thank you so much for coming into studio. Make sure you tell Ed I missed him today, and just to really appreciate what you guys are doing. Excited for the company and excited to see your future moving forward. And I just love to see the realtor smile on their face when they see what your software is doing. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tina. We love being here. And again, I want to give a big shout out to the Women's Council of Realtors because without them, I wouldn't be sitting here speaking with you. So
without them, I wouldn't have been introduced to you. So it's a great thing.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Coming up next on The Money Hour, Kelsey Diller with City Closers, here to discuss what's happening in today's real estate market and how consumers are reacting to our current environment right here at 1150 AM KKNW after this short break.